Hi, Assalamualaikum. So today my group will present about LAB2 construction of AC high voltage generation and measurement for subject BEI 823 high voltage technology. Lecturer name is Dr. Zulfi Abadi bin Harudin. My group members are Kumaran, Anak Lelaki Subramanian, Khairubaya Ramli, and Siti Natira Ibrahim. So, for the introduction, firstly, high voltage construction kit is a system of parts for high voltage infrastructure applications. Secondly, the devices implements state-of-the-art technologies, supplying students with an appropriate safety circuit with variable frequency experiments. Then, the kit 4.0 is operated by a frequency converter, a system which converts the frequency and voltage of the grid to a different frequency and voltage. Lastly, in a number of applications, it is used more and more frequently as information about it has evolved and as a modern control circuit has become available. So for section 1, which is identify a correct apparatus for hypod test, the description is first it must have test transformer 100 kV or 10 kV ampere. Then it must have measuring capacitor. The measuring capacitors is measure the rate of voltage rise, which is when the capacitor is charged. The capacitance meter measures the rate at which the voltage rises in that capacitor due to that current. The capacitance is then measured as a function of that voltage rise. Then it must have grounding switch. The grounding switch operates to provide a deliberate ground fault on one piece of the high voltage bus supplying the power transformers. Then it must have stop electrodes. Furthermore, the connection rod is to connecting, generally abbreviated to cone rod. The crankshaft cone rod mechanism transforms reciproactive motion to rotational motions. Then it must have connection cup. It purpose to transfer force from expanding gas in the cylinder to the crankshaft via a piston rod or connecting rod. Then it must have the floor pedestal. The floor pedestal connects the floor base and the head, allowing enough space for any building materials that needs to be installed beneath the floor. And lastly is secondary part for CNAC, which is represented as SET-AC.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Khairubaya from 4BI and I'm going to continue with section 2 in lab 2 of high voltage technology subject titled Construction of AC high voltage generation and measurement. I will explain about the connection of circuit between frequency converter to the transformer tap point. During the connection, we must ensure that the grounding mesh must be contacted. Next, we must ensure that the property connection of instrumentation in frequency converter must be grounded as well. And next, Make sure that the 2px 1pu is in contact so we can gain the whole potential from 1px to 2pu. At the same time, ensure at connection on the side also contacted to obtain the maximum value of voltage from 0 to 100 kV. By using coaxial cable, we must show that the impedance value of the coaxial cable is 50 ohm. Next, question 2. The question is about describe clearly the feature of each capacitor that used as voltage divider. So, the first capacitor used is measuring capacitor. Measuring capacitor is used as voltage divider with capacitance value of 100 picofarad to sustain high energy so that it can be measured by a voltmeter. The voltage value is 100 kilovolt. And then the secondary capacitive device. The secondary capacitive device required no polarity. We used the capacitive device with serial number of 2234107604 and the value is 1.094036 microfarad. Rated voltage of 7 VRMS, so the voltage is sustained. The rated capacitance of the secondary capacitive device is 2 microfarad. Next, I will explain about the connection of the grounding system. Okay, by using male-to-male cable, the measuring capacitor is connected to the secondary capacitive device. The grounding must be correctly connected with its label. From inner to inner and grounding to grounding, the tap electrode will touch the switch. What is the function of the tap electrode? Okay, the electrode is used together with the grounding switch and to reduce the corona discharge on high voltage parts of the different configuration. And the connecting cup that is touched with the electrode is used to join the transformer and the measuring capacitor. We must contact the secondary capacitive device with the ground of transformer. Next, contact to the grounding switch. Based on Hafley kit manual, it stated that the grounding switch is used to ground high voltage construction kit. Make sure that the connection is neat and tidy to avoid any accidents. The connection then connected to the VM. Based on the manual book, VM1 and VM2 is for measurement, while VM4, VM5 and VM6 is for DC. Be sure that the maximum volt is 7 V RMS, and while doing the lab, make sure the door is closed and in interlock. And next, the question is about by realizing your knowledge on electric circuit 1 and 2 during the first year of study, draw a proper diagram to show the capacitive divider for the measurement by considering high voltage level to a lower voltage level. Okay, for capacitive divider, the circuit consists of two capacitors. Based on the theories, the highest capacitance value, the lower the voltage value. And the right side picture is the schematic structure of the secondary capacitor used in the lab. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I am Kumaran Subramaniam from 4BEI section 1 stroke 1. I'm going to explain about LAB2 in high voltage technology subject about construction of AC high voltage generation and measurement. First part is schematic diagram of the male BNC cable. They will contain a two part in the BNC cable. First is external, second is internal. External, okay. External structure is from our first part of the external structure is outer installation. Second is screw on the cap to close the hole of the center contactor, and the second is X is screening and inner on installation, center contactor, brace clamps, and hole of the center contactor. And the internal part is contained of protection tube, external contactor, insulation layer, and internal contactor. Next is I'm going to explain about the type of adapter used in the secondary part. Is female BNC to dual male banana adapter. When the cable from capacitor male to male or male to male BNC cable is connected to the female of the BNC to dual male banana adapter that will connect to the secondary part. And dual male banana adapter have a dual legs. One is connected to the ground of the secondary part, one is connected to the internal of the secondary part. Next is description of a male to female BNC coaxial cable to kick frequency converter fronted. Both measurement input are split up into a peak measurement and RMS measurement. First is VM1. VM1 is connected to the measurement 1 and measurement 2 in the control software. Second is VM2 is connected to the measurement 2 and measurement 4 in the control software. Third will VM3 is connected to the measurement 5 in control software. Next is VM4 is connected to the measurement 6 in control software. Next is VM5 is connected to the measurement 7. The last is VM6 is connected to the measurement 8 in the control software. Second part is I'm going to explain about the structure of divider circuit that is called as floor, pedestal, and the chassis of the secondary capacitor and grounding switch. It contains a grounding switch. Function of the grounding switch is remote controlled switch. Act as a remote controller switch which can be used to ground the high voltage construction kit. Second is discharge and ground rod. The function of discharge and ground rod is this EST ground rod for manual discharge of high voltage kit compound. Third is electrode. Function of electrode is used together with the grounding switch ES and to reduce corona discharges on high voltage part of the difference configuration. Fourth is copper binding, or is called that uses as grounding. Copper binding is which can be used to make ground connection between the individual high apparatus. And I'm going to explain about the last part is I'm going to explain about the way to ensure the neatness and the clean testing layout. First in the test room, a suitable room is required to accumulate the high voltage construction kit. Depend on the kit configuration, a floor software of 5 meter times 6 meter is recommended, and a favorable height is 2.5 meter to 4.5 meter. Since the voltage is access to 1000 watt is to be generated, it is necessary that there is a respective safety regulation are carefully followed. The most important criteria of the good test room are screening and grounding. And the first is for the safety equipment. The safety equipment is about the test area should be enclosed by the metal grid fence at least 2.2 meter height with a maximum grid spacing of 40 millimeter. Second is screening. The screening is to test transformer of a high voltage construction kit can be used for partial discharge measurement. In the order of ensure the partial discharge measurement is not disturbed by external interference, it is necessary that the test room is screened like a Faraday cage. Walls are ceiling and the floor of the test area has to be covered with a metallic surface. Third is grounding. The grounding is about the good test field that has been separated in the grounding. This ensures there is no disturbance from the surrounding machines enter the test field, and in the case of failure the earth potential of the surrounding does not rise, causing damage to the electric equipments. It is necessary for the test field to have a lower grounding resistance than the surrounding building. That's all. Thank you.